wanna be. No matter what comes our way, we'll be together.
Welcome to Homeschooling Down South. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Kat. We're two Southern homeschooling mamas sharing real talk, resources, and inspiration for life and learning in the Southeast.
Each week, it's summer, y'all, and we're breaking the rules and shaking things up a little bit.
That's right. We're right here in your feed each week, but our summer season has a different flavor.
So whether you're listening on summer vacation or chilling by the pool, we are sharing homeschooling conversations to refresh and inspire.
Pull up a chair and join us as we keep celebrating the joy, freedom, and community of homeschooling down south, summer style.
Welcome back, y'all. We are so excited to chat with you guys today about our time at the Southeast Homeschool Expo this year. And this is not the same as the mini-series episode that we did, because that was about us as attendees. But we're going to talk to you guys about what it looked like from the exhibitor standpoint and from a speaker standpoint. So this is going to be a two-parter. You'll get the first episode this week and the second episode next week. So just know it's a package deal, but we just kind of wanted to gush a little bit with you guys because we had the time of our lives.
Yeah, these are like celebration episodes to the extreme. But also, if you were ever wondering what it's like, we can give you a little like peek behind the curtain. But I think really just we wanted to celebrate our time together there, our time with you all, the people that we met.
Yeah.
And we'll get more into this with the second episode, but some of you mentioned that you had wanted to come to one of our workshops and you couldn't make it. And so, we'll just do a little overview so that if you don't feel like you were missing out. I mean, we always say in our Wild and Free group that we don't miss out on what's for us, but, we'll just give you a couple little pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah. So we were talking just a minute ago offline. This was not on our bingo card at all when we set out to do this podcast. I think we both would have laughed if you told us that at just a year in, we would be doing this at the Southeast Homeschool Expo. But our dear friend, Jennifer Henn, friend of the podcast, she really encouraged us and, said, this is where you guys need to be. And she mentored us along the way. And so we just are forever indebted to her and owe this amazing experience to her.
Yeah, we had an amazing weekend. And I think we just both felt so much of Jennifer's blessing over our time there. Yeah. And I think if you would have asked me, are y'all going to ever exhibit? I would have said, I would love to. That's like a 5 or 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
Like I'll put it on the 5-year vision board, but, hope that it happens in 10. Like 1 year in, I just wasn't expecting it, but it was the best time.
It was so fun.
It was really fun. So you are the one who had this massive vision for our space and made it so beautiful. I mean, I don't think that left to my own, I would have made it ugly, but it would not have been as cool as what you envisioned and then executed.
Okay, well, I have to say this. Ever since I started going to homeschool conferences, I have dreamed of having something cool enough that would warrant me a spot as a vendor. So I have been planning what my booth would look like for a while, and I picked up things. I always pay attention to what makes this booth stand out, what draws me in, what's unique about this. And so when we started talking about our booth, my first thing was flooring. We have to have flooring.
God bless you.
And here's why. Monica Irvine with the Etiquette Factory 2-3 years ago, some years ago at the Southeast Homeschool Expo had flooring in her booth. And it was more like it click-clacked when you walked on it. It was almost more like laminate style. But I just remember it felt different when I stepped into her booth. And because the floor had a little give to it and it just brightened up the booth. It made the booth look different than the other booths. And so I always said, if I ever had a booth, I'm having flooring. And so I went on Amazon and I bought us some flooring. And let me just tell you, those foam puzzle piece looking floors are so cool.
Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, aesthetically, it made it look like our front porch, which then we could tell people, come visit us, come sit on our front porch with us. But I would have not been able to walk on Sunday after 2 days in the booth if you hadn't done that, because that flooring saved me from 2 days of standing on the concrete.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it was nice to have that buffer, and it definitely, I think, made it a lot more inviting, because otherwise it's just that gray concrete floor. So, and our flooring had a faux wood grain to it, so it did kind of give porchy vibes. And then, of course, we had our rocking chairs
Of course.
because obviously. And that, for me, that was important, one, because the rocking chairs are our thing, but also because I wanted people to feel like they could come sit down for just a minute, because I know how exhausting it is doing 25,000 laps around the exhibit hall, going to a session, and then coming back to do about 12,000 more. And so it was nice to be able to say, no, truly, this is not just our little tagline for this weekend. Truly, come in and sit down a minute. Come in and sit and take a rest and have a chat with us or whatever. I mean, it was
And
just fun to be able to do
celebrate.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had mints.
We did. Because when you're at a conference, you go drink coffee. I don't usually drink coffee, but sometimes I'll get a coffee at a conference just to keep me going. And the people who have mints out, I feel like they're saving the day for me. And so I was really adamant that we have mints. And if you need a mint, then you might come up onto our front porch and we might get a chance to chat with you.
Yes. Yeah. And so then we had the usual table with all of our stuff on it. We had our learning guides and our celebration stick kits. And one of the things that I really loved, we had our Homeschooling Down South banner behind. And when I was in Kat's basement weeks and weeks ago, I noticed that she had this ribbon across her wall and it had alphabet letters attached to it with clothespins. And I was like, what if we hung that ribbon with pictures of us across our banner? Because our banner has a lot of white space, and it turned out so cute. If you haven't checked out our pictures on social media, please go to our Instagram or our TikTok or our Facebook. You can see them there and check out our booth, because I thought it turned out so cute. It was everything I hoped for.
It was very cute. And the pictures were fun because they were pictures of things we've talked about on the podcast and these adventures that we've had together. And so it was fun. It felt very reflective of what we were there to do, which was tell you all about the podcast.
Yeah.
We got to do a lot of that as people came by.
Yeah.
There were people who didn't know about the podcast, and we got to help connect them. And hopefully you're listening right now. Hopefully it's you that I'm talking about. But even cooler was when people would come up and say that they were already podcast listeners.
Oh my gosh. I think I fangirled over those people.
Yeah.
More than they were fangirling over.
For sure. For sure.
But it was just like, oh, I don't know you. You've never met me. And you somehow organically found the podcast and you're listening and you like it. And you came over here to say hi. It was so cool.
It was really cool. And just sometimes we can just feel like we're in our own little bubble. And now we know that you're listening. And that was really special. And we had people come up and just chat with us about homeschooling and what there is to go do and just needing homeschool encouragement. And that was really neat to get to meet y'all who just needed to just feel lifted up and encouraged and celebrated for starting this journey or continuing it.
Well, and it was really neat for me because so many women have poured into me, have poured into us and encouraged. And that's not something that can necessarily be repaid, but it can be paid forward. And it was nice. I felt like I was able to pay it forward there. A lot of newer homeschool moms that I was able to encourage. And I had one mom, she was so sweet. Her and her husband were there. And I just want to say her husband was the way he looked at her as she was talking about her desire to homeschool and her fears about homeschool was just like such admiration. And you could tell he just supported her and thought she was just doing these amazing things. And it was really sweet. But she made a comment. She said, I don't know. I'm just nervous. What if they fall behind? I mean, do you have any advice? And I said, I do, but you're not going to like it. And she was like, what? And I just said, behind who? This isn't a race. I said, the standards that you're worried about, these other kids are attempting to meet are set by systems that you have decided you don't want your kids to be a part of. And I stood and talked with her for the longest time. And she was just such a joy. Everybody that we met was such a joy. We had a mom and her daughter run up. Friday was very stormy outside.
Yes.
We did not get to experience or witness it because we did not see the sunlight on Friday.
Yeah.
But it was very stormy. And also there had been an accident on 75. And so 75 was shut down. And so we knew a lot of people were kind of struggling to get there. And this mom and her daughter came up, and the mom was like, oh my gosh, we wanted to be at your 9 a.m. session so bad. We were trying so hard to get there, and, traffic and whatever. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that alone is compliment enough. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So it was very affirming. And it was definitely one of those where I am blessed by encouraging other people. I was very, very blessed. My cup was very filled by being able to encourage other homeschool families.
Yeah. And I think something that was cool too about being there is that so often in an exhibit hall, it's overwhelming, especially if you're curriculum shopping, you're trying to find the thing. It was cool to be a place where people could come, and we're not another decision you have to make. We are a resource that's really easy to access through any of your podcast apps. And we're here to support you, encourage you, help you find the things that are happening near you. And it was cool to watch people's faces change, like, okay, here's another one. Like, what decisions do I have to make here? And it was like, nothing. And to watch their faces change and be like, oh, I needed this break. I needed this moment to just hear that there's a conversation happening that I want to be a part of. That was really cool. And I agree. It's such a blessing to encourage others. And it just felt so good to spend, full packed days. Our booth was slammed, just lifting people up. And that felt really, really good.
Yeah. And there would be these moments where, okay, there's nobody here, and one or both of us would sit down, and it was like immediately somebody else would walk by. And we had one vendor and one was just another company, both who were like, we've been trying to stop by and see you guys, but you have people here every time.
Yeah.
And I think you are onto something. Is like, we did have our learning guides and our celebration stick kits for sale, but that is secondary. Of course we want people, we've made this product and
we're
we
a
want
small
people to buy
business.
it.
We would love for you to buy it. And we think it's really cool, and we think it would bless your homeschool.
And a lot of people shared that with us, that this is really cool. And we would watch them walking and see them notice the learning guides and kind of slow down and come around, because, they look beautiful. They're eye-catching and they're different. They're not everything else that's in the exhibit hall. But it was just cool. We just want to meet you. We want you to know about the podcast. We want you to listen. And I had a friend from our church that we went to before we moved up here. Her and her family always come on Saturday to shop. And so I saw them there, and she was like, oh my gosh, how can I support you guys? What can I do? And I was like, honestly, just listen. Just be a listener. Follow us on social media if you've got it.
And like you said last week, if you're listening, then give us a rating or a review.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we need. Yes.
Yeah.
It was cool to have the learning guides, though, in print and see people put them in their hands and look through them. It was really cool to explain to people what our hope is for these learning guides. They are not a curriculum.
Right.
They are not going to teach you a ton of history or a ton of science, but they are going to supplement the history, the science, the geography that you would find at a place like a state park or an aquarium or a zoo. It's going to help you take what you're reading there and turn it into some tangible learning. But also, if there's not anything there, then there's just fun facts, is what I would call them. Fun facts about zoos and aquariums and state and national parks that you can then use as filler. But really, it's a guide to help guide your conversation and guide your students' journaling or drawing, and just make sure that you are capturing the learning that is happening in those moments, in those places. It was just really cool to see people having them in their hands and imagining these ending up in people's homeschools where they could use them and benefit from them and then celebrate at the end of their outings. It was fun and cool to see, even though our primary reason to be there was to connect with listeners. This idea we've had to see it in real life in people's hands. It was really cool.
You believe in this thing that you created, but to see other people be like, oh, this is really cool. I want all four. It was like, oh my gosh, who was it? Sally Field. Oh my gosh, they like me.
They like me.
They like me. That was really neat. And like you were saying, I started calling them the learning accessory. Like you said, this is not a curriculum. This is a guide to supplement what is there at wherever it is you're going. And we, my family, my kids, used ours the very first time.
Cool. Where did you use it?
We used it at Indian Springs State Park.
Cool. How'd it go?
Really well. My daughter drew a beautiful picture of the waterfall in the little picture section. I will share more about that at a later time, but we used ours and it was fun.
Very nice. And then the final thing that I just wasn't anticipating, loving about exhibiting was we have all these friends of the pod who are exhibitors because that's how we met them. A year ago, as we went around the Southeast Homeschool Expo and connected at people's booths and invited them onto the podcast. And you've heard us say before, we were so shocked because everybody said yes, even though we didn't even have an episode out yet. And we were just so floored. And they've just become good friends of the podcast. And when I say that, what I mean is they've been so continuously encouraging of us. They've prayed over us and with us. They've given us advice and feedback, and they've just told us to keep going. And it was really cool to be in that space with them and get to have these moments with them before the doors were opened or after the doors were closed, and to cheer them on too, now that we know them better from having had them on the podcast.
Yeah. So we worked it out the day that we had to set up because we came in Thursday night to get set up. And so we worked it out to where I came with our friend Whitney, who we'll get into in just a second, was an absolute lifesaver and rock star.
We could not have done it without her.
We couldn't have. So she and I came in around 1:30 on Thursday to unload because they were very specific. You had these 2 unloading times because they didn't want the loading dock to be backed up. And so we came in around 1:30, got everything unloaded and started getting set up. And it was really cool because I had this imposter syndrome beforehand, like, oh my gosh, they're all going to know. We're going to be in the exhibit hall with all these really cool people and they're going to know we don't belong. But it was really cool to see people that we knew. Robert from Excalibur came over and gave us a hug. It was just cool to be in there with, oh, these are friends. These are friends of ours. And side note, I will also say, I think my soul left my body for a few moments when I walked in the exhibit hall. And if you've ever been to Southeast Homeschool Expo, and I can't remember if other expos do this, but they have these white signs with the name of the business or the name of the person hanging on each booth. If you have your own sign, you can cover it up. But that's how you know when you come in, this is your booth. And I about fell out. And this is in a reel on social media, but there was this moment because Whitney was filming me the whole time. And there was this moment where I realized once we walked in, oh my gosh, there's going to be a sign with our name on it.
Yeah.
And I took that sign and it is now in my living room on display. It won't stay there, but I'm very stinking proud of that.
And evidence that we did belong there.
Yes.
There was our name. We did belong there.
And it was very cool. Just to get to see, we've been, 4 times before? 3 times before?
Oh, gosh. I had been 3 times. This was my 4th year. Yeah.
Okay.
And yours the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I'm used to going in the exhibit hall and seeing everybody set up. But this time I got a peek behind the curtain because I got to be one of the people who was getting set up and see what that process was like. And it was lovely. And like our friend Renee from Training Them Wisely was just on the way from us. And so we got to spend a lot of time connecting with her.
Yeah.
Of course, our friend Kathy Eggers was there and we got to hang out with her. We went to her booth. She came to ours. I think I went in thinking that we might have a little bit of an island experience where we're in our little booth on our little island and I'm sure people will stop by. But oh my gosh, it was so communal.
Yeah, it was
so communal.
Such a big community. We got to see Angela from Unite and we got to see Matthew from Read, Write, Create. Yeah, it just felt very like, oh, these are our friends and we do belong here. And the other thing is being a part of the exhibiting, you really get to see how much work goes into putting this expo on. And I've attended this event for years, and I used to work in event coordination so long ago. And I know that events take a lot to put on, but seeing it, how massive this event is, how many people they serve, over 5,000 people registered, how many people they serve and how many exhibitors there are and all of the work that goes into it. And it's a family. It's a family that does all the heavy lifting. They've been doing it forever since the creation of this event. Their mom came up with the idea of the event and then the family has taken it and run with it. And they're a really sweet family and they took such good care of us. And the exhibitors all work so hard. There's nobody setting up your booth for you or taking it down for you. The exhibitors are there. They're the ones doing it. And everybody just works really hard to make it a wonderful event. And so it's one of those things that when you're walking around, you might just not realize how much goes into making this wonderful weekend for you. And just a huge shout out and thank you to the St. Denis's for all they do to make this event happen, and all the exhibitors who choose to come out and spend a weekend serving the homeschool community. It's really, really cool.
Well, and like we said, we have to also shout out and say a big thank you to our friend Whitney. When she found out that we were doing this, she was like, I'll be your lackey. Do you need a lackey? And we were like, yeah, actually.
I hadn't
we would
even
love a
thought
lackey.
of that, but probably.
And had no idea how much we would need a lackey because oh my goodness, she made sure our water cups were filled. She reminded us to eat, and she brought honey sticks so that we could have some honey sticks throughout the weekend. Anytime we needed anything, she'd go grab it. She manned our booth while we were speaking, and things that it was like, oh my goodness, we need this. She's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And she just did.
Yeah. She would disappear
She
for
just
like 2 or
did.
3 minutes, and she'd come back and she'd be like, it's handled.
It was lovely. And I feel like we're kind of spoiled now.
Yeah, this was our first one. And I'm like, what are we going to do if we go to another expo and she can't come with us?
She was a rock star, but also she's such a good friend. And you guys are going to get to hear from her because she and I went on a little adventure. So you'll hear about that in season 2. But she's such a dear friend. And so she got to experience this monumental thing with us. And we went down to the pool in the hotel and sat in the hot tub and had dinner together. So it was like a girls' weekend mixed in.
Yeah, that part was really fun. And I didn't really know if I was going to have bandwidth for that, but then I did because I just was having such a good time with the two of you, and you're both such dear friends. And I think another cool thing is that so many homeschool families, homeschool parents, find that they have dreams placed on their hearts, that being in the homeschool world kind of opens up their mind. And I think it's part that you're reclaiming childhood for your kids. And so you reclaim some of it for yourself, and you see other people chasing down some dreams. And she's working on some dreams now too. And I think that weekend really inspired her. And that has been an unexpected cool thing that came out of the weekend.
And I know when we did our mini series on conferences, we talked about what was your favorite thing in the exhibit hall, but we really couldn't explore much this year.
Nope.
But the Lord just took care of it because we both went home with a beautiful devotional on the names of God for our kids from Renee at Training Them Wisely. And we're going to incorporate that in our morning routine for school. And so I'm really excited about that. But also at the end of the conference, when we were all starting to break down, this woman came up to Whitney and handed her this stack of planners. And I overheard them talking, but I didn't really know what was going on. And so after I finished chatting with whoever I was chatting with, I was like, what was that about? And Whitney was like, she just gave each of us this set, and it's a yearly planner and then a daily planner. I went back up to her booth and found out that her name is Michelle, and she's with Homeschool Essentials, and they're downsizing because they've graduated their kids. I think they've got one left, and this is her last year. But she said she had some overstock and had just prayed over who needed it, and she kept trying to come to our booth to give it to us, and we were always busy. And so she finally just came up at the end. And I'm telling you right now, I'm loving these planners. I've never had a planner that I like this. And what a gift. What a gift. Because we didn't get to go scope out the exhibit hall and check things out. And so it was like the Lord brought us the things that we needed. And that is so stinking cool.
And they're beautiful.
They're
beautiful
so
planners.
beautiful.
They're really well made too.
And they've inspired something in my home. Those of you who follow me on my Scratch Made Simple account might have been following our journey for National Chocolate Chip Day. And the reason that we have done that is because of this planner. Because this planner has these like funky holidays listed in it. And my daughter is also obsessed with this planner, and I want a journal like this, Mom. This is beautiful. Can I get one like this? I'm like, girl, you're 9. You don't need a planner quite yet.
Oh, yeah. I came over yesterday and you were doing chicken chores, and she was in there pouring into this planner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is when she found out that today was National Chocolate Chip Day.
Got it.
So we are observing. We had chocolate chip pancakes for breakfast, and then we had rolled ice cream with chocolate chips after lunch. And I'm currently trying to figure out what chocolate chip situation is going to happen around dinner time. But it was lovely. And so we're grateful grateful to Renee at Training Them Wisely and Michelle with Homeschool Essentials for just blessing us.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I know it's hard to narrow it down, but what is a win from exhibiting at the 2026 Southeast Homeschool Expo?
So I had this moment where I was walking through the exhibit hall and this woman, I had gone to fill up my water cup and I was walking back to our booth and this woman was like, "Oh my gosh, hi, I really enjoyed your session. I'm heading to your booth right now." And I looked around and then I pointed at myself. I said, "Are you talking to me?" And she started laughing and she said, "Yes." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And it was those moments, people who sought us out, not that we don't love the people who just were passing by and stopped to say hello. And there was this other woman who said, "I saw that you guys were on the list and I got so excited." And I was like, "For us? You guys so excited for us?" And that was really awesome. That was really awesome to see that people are enjoying this thing that brings us so much joy and that we've poured our heart and souls into.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I could definitely retweet the sentiment of that win, but to have my own, I will say it was watching your vision come to life and that it was so beautiful and it was so well done. And not that I would expect anything else, but just that it came to life the way that you wanted it to. And then it just was the best place to be all weekend. Every time I would sit in the rocking chair or someone would come and sit in our rocking chairs and hang out with us. Or even if we were up talking, they just felt comfortable being there. Just you had created this environment that felt like us. And I think people could really feel it. They too were connecting with what you created for us. And it was just really cool to see. And I can't wait until we exhibit again and we pull our front porch back out.
Oh my gosh, the dream. It's such a dream.
Such a dream. Yes.
Such a dream.
So when you are not creating amazing spaces for homeschooling down south, where can the people find you?
You can find me at scratchmadesimple _ on Instagram and at scratchmadesimple on TikTok. And when you are not telling all the people about our amazing learning guides that you wrote, where can they find you?
I'm at Recreating Camp on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, you can find us on all the socials at Homeschooling Down South. If you have a cool expo you know about that you think we should come and exhibit at, you can email us at hello@homeschoolingdownsouth.com. And if you liked this episode, please give us a rating and review wherever you're listening. If you want to know all about these learning guides that we were talking about, you can shop for them on our website, homeschoolingdownsouth.com.
And make sure to come back next week for part 2, where we talk all about our experience as speakers and some things that looked a little different this year.
See you next week, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
And we'll love together, we'll learn together, explore this whole wide world together. No matter where we are.